I told you guys this might be a really quick video. Just Mercury's like Quicksilver. It's like, let's Gemini even. Hello beautiful souls, and welcome to our Gemini season pick a card reading. We are entering the energy of the twins, so let's dive in and see what is coming up for you this season. The lucky colour for Gemini is yellow, and this is the only kind of yellow thing that I own, so I've tried to tune into that a little bit for you. So Gemini is of course an air sign. It's ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication. It also rules the third house, which is of course the house of communication. So don't forget to check what planets or asteroids or what energy you have in that house, and also look at where Gemini is in your chart. If you have a 7 in your soul plan chart, that is also connected to Gemini. So you are basically this social butterfly, this fantastic networker, which we know is just this amazing energy that Gemini has. And I just think it's a fantastic energy, especially if you're in business or if you are working or cooperating with other people or collaborating. It is so useful to have Gemini energy around you. Of course, Gemini is, as I say, ruled by Mercury. It is a very fast talker, a fast thinker. So if I start talking really quickly today, or I should say more quickly than I usually do, then I'm just tuning into the energy, so sorry. No other way I can put it. Okay, really what I feel is that we need to just get down to business. I'm feeling like this needs to happen quickly. In that true Gemini fashion, we need to get into things and understand them, and then we can integrate them, which is what Gemini is very good at doing. We do know that Gemini is the twins, so of course there is that element of that play between the light and the dark, the good and the bad, the healed and the unhealed, etc. There's real duality, I think, in Gemini, which I think is really fascinating, and I think actually there's a lot more layers to them than we kind of realize. So we have a 2-pile pick a card reading for you today. You have card pile 1 and card pile 2. Card pile 1 will be on the left for you, and card pile 2 will be on the right. So just take a minute to close your eyes and just tune in and ask, what do I most need to know right now? And just really trust your intuition and what comes through for you. The cards that I have chosen today are the Energy Oracle cards. I think that's by Sandra Ann Taylor, but I'll double check that for you. The Good Witch, Bad Witch, I guess Oracle deck by Gillian Kemp, which is the first deck I ever had, and it's so cute. I love it. And of course the Soul Plan cards, because you know we've got to see what energies we're working with and what we can do to help ourselves during each season. So we're just going to dive straight in. I'm really excited for this. I think this is going to be an interesting season. And what is interesting to me is when I picked the cards this morning, as I was shuffling and tuning in, and when I picked the cards this morning, what really came up actually was this energy of focusing on the individual rather than other people. And usually we think of Gemini as this real social energy, so I would have expected other people to come into that, but actually it was really about the inner self. So that's really interesting. So everything you need will be timestamped below, and let's get started by going through card pile number 1. So if you chose card pile 1, then I have 2 cards for you to start with, and actually both card piles do. As I was shuffling, this card fell out, which is the 6th chakra Archangel Metatron, and then we also have the anxiety card, which came up as well. This is interesting to me because they both to me are talking about this third eye region. So have you been getting headaches or feeling a lot of pressure or a lot of tension around your temples? Maybe you've got a lot of stress going on in your life, and that stress is traveling up through your traps, through your neck, up into your temples, and it's creating these kind of tension headaches that you're getting. And I feel that this is all to do actually with spiritually cleansing and healing yourself. I think there's some third eye work that needs to happen. Maybe you're just starting to really open your third eye, or maybe you felt as though it was really open and actually it's starting to open up a lot more. Maybe your spiritual potential for clairvoyancy is really starting to open up now, and you're really starting to tune into it a bit more. Maybe you've been meditating more, or maybe you've been ignoring your meditation, and spirit is like, hello, we're ready to share these things with you. And so it's inviting you to cleanse and to clear this space. So I think there's a lot of third eye clearing that needs to happen all the way around, really clearing your energy in that space. And especially if you're doing spiritual work, because of course you could be, especially if you're an empath, picking up other people's energies unintentionally or subconsciously. So it's really important to keep cleansing yourself and protecting yourself when you're working with people, especially if you are just naturally an empath, or or quite a clairvoyant person, then I think it's quite important to continuously cleanse. Every day is what I would recommend. So what's really coming in here for me is like an upgrade in your third eye, moving beyond what you thought you were capable of in your intuition and your psychic abilities, and going that bit further. But maybe you're feeling a bit anxious about it because maybe you're in the more low vibrational range of the third eye chakra, which is, you know, that kind of questioning and doubting, and maybe you actually need to come to a space of trust, a space of faith, which I think is really important. So there could be something that needs clearing and healing to help you to feel that level of faith, that level of trust that these cards are inviting you to have. And we do have Archangel Metatron here, so of course you can call upon, I'm going to say him, but I actually think that the archangels are gender neutral, but you can call upon him and ask for guidance and help with clearing and releasing that, and help with reconnecting that strong intuitive connection with your third eye to the spiritual realm. So lots of clearing, as I said, lots of going within and working through this space, because I actually feel like I'm getting a headache as I'm doing this video. To be honest with you, the back of my head feels really tense and just here on my temples, so it could be that you've been experiencing those things too. And therefore, what can you do on a spiritual, mental, emotional, physical level to support yourself to stop having those? So there's going to be something, could be EFT, could be taking some flower essence, could be going for counseling, could just be giving yourself a really good sound bath or a cleanse like that. It could be calling upon the archangels to help you. So then I pulled a card from the Good Witch, Bad Witch deck, which is split into two piles. So you have the Good Witches and the Bad Witches. The Bad Witches are usually just there to offer you guidance during a difficult time, but a Good Witch came through for you guys, and this is the East Witch. What is really interesting is, as I was shuffling, I said, what do card pile 1 need to know to help them with the anxiety in the third eye? And this card literally fell out as I was finishing that sentence, and I was like, okay, interesting, so let's take a look. And what I want to draw your attention to is oh, honestly, these cards are so accurate, it just makes me laugh. But what came up in the guidebook is there is an actual spell here to expel stress. And I was like, I feel like I need to share that with you guys. So I will put a close-up on the screen for you, but it says, spell to expel stress. Light a blue candle in the east and pour water into a glass bowl placed in front of the candle. Anoint your forehead with 1 drop of lavender oil to soothe your clairvoyant third eye. Also anoint each wrist with 1 drop of lavender oil. Gaze into the flame and, using a fountain pen, drop 7 drops of blue ink into the water. Look into the water, visualizing blue dispersing and washing away troubles and stress in the same way the blue ink flows through the water. Gaze at the flame and look again. When the ink has turned the water blue, your spell is complete. So this is really interesting because it does say here as well that there's this bright new adventure coming for you. And so it kind of feels like, as I said, you're upgrading your spiritual capacity and your psychic connection. So it's almost like you need to dispel and clear the stresses that are holding you back from being able to accept and integrate those things. Again, Gemini and the integration, I think that's really important. So maybe there's something that is causing stress in your life and you know it is, and that could be an inner thing. That can be your thoughts and beliefs. Again, we know that Mercury really rules that kind of thoughts, beliefs and spoken area. So, you know, that could be what's coming up for you, is maybe you're thinking and believing things, or maybe you think one thing and you say another, like maybe there's a miscommunication within your body, right? Also, it can be as well, sometimes when we receive spiritual guidance, we are unsure if we can say it exactly as we've received it, because we're like, well, that sounds weird, or that doesn't make sense. But actually, it's never about you when you're channeling or downloading or sharing something spiritual for somebody. It's actually about them, and it doesn't have to make sense to you. It's actually important that you do word for word repeat what spirit is sharing with you, and that could be a message to your audience, could be a message to a group workshop that you're doing, it could be a one-to-one thing, could be to a family member or a friend, but it's important to really receive and then express it truthfully. So I think that's what's coming up for you this season, is to really work into that. So let me know if any of you actually try that spell and how you find it, and if you are feeling that real stress and anxiety in that area. Because the soul plan energy that came up for you guys is potential manifestation, direct spiritual connection, balance of divine male and female aspects. So this is a real healing card. This is a high vibrational healing energy, and I feel like that's what you're working on at the moment, is your direct connection to spirit or source or whatever you believe in, and really having that clear channel, right? And so in order to receive fully, everything needs to be aligned. If you have your crown chakra open but your third eye is maybe just a little bit out of balance, and then your throat is really out of balance, there isn't a direct line. If you were to draw it would be like, ooh, going all over the place, and actually that doesn't help you to receive and or ground the information or the ideas, etc., that you're receiving. So it's important to really have this real clear path of channeling for when you receive these pieces of information, as I say, all these ideas, whatever it is that's coming through for you. So I think a little bit of self-healing, and that's why I think this third eye is what needs to be cleared and healed. So I think that's what you're going to be working on. Let me know how these cards resonate. Are you working more on your psychic abilities or your intuition or your clairvoyancy? Are you really starting to tune into your third eye more, or the chakras in general? Are you finding that there is a disconnect, that when you start to receive information, maybe it's not coming through fully, or you're not totally sure of what it means? Or do you feel like you're just starting your spiritual journey and you're starting to get visions and intuition and you don't really know where to go with it, and maybe it's something you feel a bit nervous about and a bit unsure of, in which case, firstly, you can always reach out to me for a session. I'm always here to help. And secondly, just trust. As long as you're putting up really good boundaries energetically, when you're connecting to spirit, then you are safe, you are protected. I always say that to my clients. Make sure you're very well protected when you're connecting, and you will only connect with the things you set the intention to connect with. So I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. Let me know how it resonates in the comments below. So if you chose card pile number 2, then you also have 2 main cards that came through. I think it was this one that fell out when I shuffled, and then I picked this one. So this one is action. Interestingly enough, you can see there's a white and a black horse here. I really feel that represents Gemini energy in a way. It's almost like the light and the shadow. So this is action. You can see like the white horse, it's just going for it. The white horse is really going for it, like it's running, it's bolting, whereas the black horse just looks like it's kind of trotting along. Action came through and I was like, interesting, action around what? And then when I picked this card, it says indecision, and you'll be able to see in the close-ups, but both of the options here say unknown. Both of them have butterflies on. So really what I'm getting is actually both options that you have in front of you that you're questioning and not sure about, actually both lead to the same path and the same result and the same outcome. So actually it feels like you can take either or, but take the one that feels good for you. Take action and take the one that feels good for you, because this space of indecision isn't healthy. And the only difference here is this one has some leaves falling down, which to me is like the autumn energy, whereas this one has what looks like a new lease of life, which is more spring energy. So it kind of feels like you have these 2 options in front of you, and one of them is going to lead you down one path. Again, both of them are taking you to the same outcome, but that might feel more joyful to you, and another one maybe is a little bit more challenging or requires a little bit more hard work. But ultimately, because the outcome is the same, are you willing to put in the work for it? Are you willing to work for your dreams or your goals or for the relationship that you're working on? Because being in this space of indecision, it's not really serving you, is it? You're just stuck, you're still, you're stagnant. And let's be honest, stagnant energy is just so unhealthy. It really stops us from being able to put ourselves out there and receive the joy and the abundance that the universe can bring us. So what are you trying to decide between? Because this card is saying to take action and you'll immediately leave this card won't exist, right? And you'll just have this card. So I think that's quite important that they came out together. So I would love to know what you're deciding on and how you feel you're going to be able to choose that. Are you going to tune into your intuition and trust what comes through, or are you going to tune into joy? Are you going to tune into your body and say, what does my body really want me to do? How do I feel in my body when I think about one decision, whereas how do I feel in my body when I think about another decision? Because it's really important to tune into that. Our body's a really good communicator. Like, what's your body telling you? What are you deciding between? Because your body and your intuition actually have the answer there, and then you can take the action. Then you can actually do something, which again is so Gemini, like, let's go out and do it, you know, let's actually take action and permeate our soul into the world. So what's really funny is the Bad Witch card that came up for you guys is the Ring Around the Moon Witch. And again, this just means advice and guidance during difficult times. And this is really saying, be careful what you wish for. You know, if you're going to manifest something or work on something, just make sure that it's genuinely what you want and that you're very specific about it. And I think that's because we're in a space at the moment. I just feel like this whole year, as I've said to you in one of my previous videos, this is a 6 year. This is all about manifesting. So things are manifesting really quickly, and we are going to be in Mercury retrograde. It might still be in Gemini, or it might have moved to Taurus whilst this video comes out, whilst we're moving into Gemini season. So really be mindful of what you're wishing for, what you're calling upon. Obviously, we know it's not really the best thing to do to set intentions and take action during Mercury retrograde is inviting us to be in a space of inaction, really, to go within. So it might even be that during this Mercury retrograde you're feeling really indecisive, and that's okay. Take some time with that. Wait until it finishes, which I think is either June the 2nd or June the 4th. I did only look at that like yesterday when I was talking to my friend about it. It's 3 weeks usually, so I think it's June, can't remember, let me look. So it's June the 3rd. I'm like, June the 2nd, June the 4th, the other one, the one in the middle. Yeah, okay, see? Don't film videos before Mercury retrograde because you can't remember anything. Yeah, so wait until Mercury retrograde finishes to take the action that we're talking about. And then when you have, just be mindful of what you're wishing for, because I think once you've made this decision, it's going to flow really quickly. And so really just watch your thoughts around it, because obviously if you're moving into something and you're like, oh, I don't know if this is the right thing for me, I've made this decision and I don't know if I should have, and now I'm thinking, should I have stuck with the other one and I don't know what to do, and oh my god. If you start thinking like that, you're going to start manifesting that reality for yourself. So instead, just be like, I've made this decision, it felt good in my body, or it felt good to my intuition, I'm going to go with it, I'm going to trust it, I'm going to see where it takes me. And maybe it will take me in a space I'm not sure of, or I don't know about, or is really unexpected, but I'm going to trust that it's the right thing for me. I feel like you guys are going to be really strongly feeling the energy of Mercury retrograde, because I feel like I am as I'm talking to you. I'm not making any sense. I'm trying to communicate with you and it's not coming out the way it is in my head, right? So I'm thinking like, oh yeah, it's not going to happen this way. It's, yeah, words not working. So be really mindful and just take some time for you. I think maybe even just disconnect for a little bit from social media, etc. during Mercury retrograde, and then when it ends, then you can be like, okay, now I'm tuning into my body. What would I like to receive? How would I like to work with the energy of the new moon that will be happening during the middle of this Mercury retrograde, and also new moon in Taurus, right? Have we had the new moon in Taurus? New moon in Gemini? Where are we? What's the date? Yeah, really, I think take some time for you. I feel like I need to take some time right now because my head is like, ooh, what's going on? Does that make any sense? No idea. Yeah, just be mindful what you wish for, what you think of, what you communicate, just be mindful. And the reason I say that is because the soul plan energy that came through for you is the 17, speech and emphasis. We've had this before, you guys will probably remember this. Confidence to express the message to the world and society. See, I even just read that and I read it the wrong way. That's how much Mercury is affecting me today. So this is interesting because when I pulled the other card and it fell out, what came up was, as you can see the numbers at the top here, 17, 8. This is the number 17. We always express it as 17, 8 in soul plan. So I just, as soon as I pulled these cards, I was like, I wonder if the 17 will come up, and it did. So yeah, all these cards just feel very aligned for you guys. So this for me is like, there's something you want to say, some action you want to take or do, but as I've said, please wait until Mercury is direct at the very least, and then it'll be the right time for you to do that. Maybe the whole point of this inaction is to give you the time you need to formulate what it is you want to say, and so that you can say it in a really loving, wholesome way. Maybe it's just that Mercury is going to make you feel really confused about things, and maybe you just need that time for yourself in order to then be able to come out and say, okay, I'm ready. Because this energy is very confident. It's almost like this motivational speaker quality to it. Like, we call it the politician energy in soul plan, but I really think of it as, whenever I think of it, I think of Tony Robbins. I don't know if he has it in his chart, but just this to me is Tony Robbins. Just really confident, empowering, motivational, helping people find their goals, right? Really passionate about what he talks about. I mean, really, as I'm talking, I'm like, he must have a 3. But anyway, that's a different story. So I really think that there's something that's like coming up within you that's ready to share. But okay, also what's just come in is, this is also about a self-healing journey. It might be that there's something that needs healing and clearing before you share your message into society. I always say, only share what you are ready to share with people. If you still feel emotional about something, or if something's deeply upsetting for you still, please take the time to heal that, to move through that before you share that with other people, because you don't have to push yourself out there and share everything during the moment that it's happening. You can share it when you feel ready to. And usually when you feel ready to, you'll just get this feeling in your body or your intuition that's like, okay, now is the time. And you'll find it easier to say, right? The words will just flow out of your throat chakra and you'll be able to say it in a way that feels good for you. And you'll know that I've healed it, so I can share it with others. So there's a lot going on for you guys. There's a lot of decisions and push and pull energy, like coming and going, don't know what's happening, and then all of a sudden it's just gonna be calm and you will know exactly what you need to do. It'll feel good within you. You'll go and make that decision. You'll take that first step. You'll start taking the action and expressing what you need and you want, or what you're looking to share with others, and it will flow really nicely. So take some time to rest during Mercury retrograde. See how much calmer I've come into that after energy now. So take some time to rest, just go within, trust your body, do lots of self-care. You know, I think it starts off Mercury retrograde in Gemini and then it moves into Taurus, so I think self-care is going to be really important. So just go within, spend that time within, enjoy it, and then when you're ready, when it comes out the other side, then you can start taking action. So let me know how this reading resonated, if it made any sense to you, because I'm sure I'm going to watch this back when I edit it and be like, what was I trying to say? If you've made it this far, love you. Thank you so much. So I hope that you have enjoyed this reading. What a journey. Thanks for sticking with me. Honestly, I'm definitely not going to film just before Mercury retrograde again, because my head is just like, woo! all over the place. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in next week's video. What do we think of the brunette, you guys? This is just temporary. Just the purple wasn't washing out perfectly well, slash it was looking really weird. So I had to just take a drastic measure, and it's kind of weird. It's still not as dark as my natural roots. What on earth? I'm sure this used to be my natural colour. Not with it at all. I can tell that Mercury is going to really affect me this time, and last time it was really easy on me, so I'm like, okay. I will lean into that and go with the flow. It's okay. Oh my god, I need to stop filming before I just start talking more rubbish, really. So what was I saying? Come on, internet. June the 3rd. Isn't June just I'd be intrigued if any of you are interested to drop 7 droplets of blue ink into the water. Okay, it's not fine if you do that. Of the crap, and everything. So everything you need will be time stamped below. Gemini. So don't forget to check. That'll do. Get my cards out. That helps. I think that was there.